Welcome back to our TimeMD video tutorial series. Today we're going to finish our discussion on managers. Now with previous videos we've already discussed setting up manager groups, assigning permissions, etc. And today we're going to actually define managers and assign them to the groups that we've already set up. Now we've already logged into our demo account, and we're going to go ahead and just quickly review those groups that we've set up in our previous videos. So under Preferences, Manager Groups, we can see the two groups that we've already set up. We have top level admin, and within that group we have what we've called a second level admin. Now of course you can name these groups whatever you like. We've also already assigned them to some areas, and we've actually limited under the second level admin what personnel that manager group has access to. Now as we also mentioned before, you can view this as a list, which sometimes makes it a little easier to view. Or we can go back as a hierarchy, just so that we know that second level is part of top level admin. Okay, so groups are done. Now we need to set up the managers. So in other words, the system has a group, but there's no one assigned to the group, so there's really no managers set up yet. All right, so under Preferences, Managers, we're taken to the screen where we actually see that there are no managers set up yet. And we're actually going to go through and we can demonstrate how there's two distinct ways that you can set up a manager. Either they can be a standalone manager, and what that means is this would be someone who, whenever they need to log into the system, the only thing they're ever going to do is management functions. They're not going to be tracking time. They're not going to be reviewing their schedule. They're not going to be asking for days off. Just management type functionality. Inversely, we also have the ability to set up what we call hybrid accounts. This would be someone who is an employee but also needs management functions. In other words, this would be someone who could be logging in to track their time, or they could be logging in to do management functions. Now it's nice with a hybrid account, you don't need to issue two separate logins for that person. They can use the same login to access both types of accounts. And we'll show you how to do that here in a second. But while we're here, we're going to go ahead and set up a distinct manager account that all they can do is manage, or the only thing they're ever going to log in for is management type functions. So we're going to create a new manager. We're going to call this person Phil Phillipson. We're going to give them a name, or an email, I'm sorry. Phil Phillipson. Now we don't really have an email for this person. We're just going to put noemail.com. We don't need to necessarily input a phone, but you can if you want. We're going to make this manager active. And now here we see the two different groups that we've already set up. We have our second level and our top level admins from the groups management section. All right, so we're going to give this person access as a top level admin. And then finally, we got to give this person a username and password. So we're just going to use their email for their username and just a random text for a password. Save the form. And now we have our first manager set up. Now, what's nice is, let's say you want to tweak the permissions just a bit for this person. You can go, okay, this is the group that it's been assigned to, but we're going to limit the permissions for this person. These are what's been assigned, but we don't want this person to manage shifts. So we're going to deselect that. Let's submit the form. And now this person's permissions have been slightly modified. Now there's a warning here that tells us that it's been changed, and which one we can see is different. So that makes it nice. You don't have to have the same groups or the same permissions for every manager. You can tweak them a little bit if you want. But now we're going to go through and find an employee and make them into a hybrid account for our second manager account. So we're going to go to Preferences, Personnel Employees. We're just going to select someone from the list. So let's just say Chris Christopherson. And within their input screen, we have an option here, Grant Manager Access. Let's click that, click Submit. And now if we go back to our manager list, we'll see Chris now shows up. But there's just one problem. He's not assigned to a group yet. So let's assign that person to a group. Let's make them part of the second level admins. And so now, there we go. We have a Phil Phillipson, who is actually a true manager. And then we have Chris Christopherson, who's a hybrid account. So, as always, if you have any questions regarding managers or how to set up manager groups or anything related to TimeMD, feel free to email us at any time at support@timemd.com. We thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll see you at our next video.